Welcome into the DRF Sportsbook College Basketball Power Rankings. The college basketball regular season is just a few weeks away from wrapping up, and that means we turn our attention to one of the greatest moments in sports. That's the month of March. Conference tournaments leading into the NCAA tournament and March Madness. And if you're for a real sicko like me, the NIT baby's here, and it is prime time to start betting on all things college basketball. I mean, I've been betting on college basketball for a while now, but it's time to really start to narrow in our focus on who the best teams in the college basketball landscape are. So we've had our computers kind of crunch the numbers, figure it out, and it spit out these 10 teams as the best teams as of right now. As of recording on February 21st at 4:36 p.m. Eastern, these are the best 10 college basketball teams in the nation that you need to focus in on and potentially throw a little bit money down on to win the NCAA tournament. And if you're not already, you can find all this information on our social medias. Follow us at DRF Sportsbook. And if you're in Iowa, you can bet all of these NCAA tournament futures with us at DRF Sportsbook. You can download our app or head on over to our retail location in Osceola, Iowa at Lakeside Hotel and Casino. We're Iowa's only local sportsbook, and we want to make you profitable. So, without further ado, let's break down our top 10 college basketball teams as of right now. Number 10, UConn. The Huskies sit at 20-7 this season, 16-11 against the spread, and they have a plus 13.7 margin of victory this season. Look, normally these power rankings, we come and break down why the bottom 5 ones aren't necessarily all that great. If you crack this top 10 list, you are a really solid team that has the potential to win in March. This is a team, they've struggled a little bit here in February against the spread, just 2-2 against the spread, but they're 3-1 straight up. Their only loss was at Creighton, another really, really good Big East team, so not a bad loss at all. They did have a kind of rough January where they slipped down in the polls a little bit, but as of right now, they're 6th in KenPom with the 11th best offense and 16th best defense, led by Adama Sanago, a 6'9 junior. He's one of the best overall players in the nation. He's the thing that gets that Huskies team going. If he's playing well, the Huskies are playing well, and that's why they're number 10. Moving on to number 9, Purdue. What happened, man? This team was primed to win the national championship. I mean, they're led by 7'4" junior center Zach Edey, who's a wildly efficient offensively and defensively big man, probably the most efficient big man in the nation. I'd go out on a limb and say the best big man in the nation overall, just in general. Purdue 24-4 straight up. They have a plus 11.9 point differential. They're 12-14-2 against the spread this year, so you've been losing money if you've been betting the spread with the Boilermakers. And this month, this is where things have been starting to get a little bad for them. They're 3-3 straight up and against the spread in the month of February. Not the month you want to be kind of stumbling in as we head very fast to March. They've lost 3 of their last 5, but they're still a solid team overall according to all the metrics. 8th in offensive efficiency, 23rd in defensive efficiency. But Purdue, because of these last few weeks, have slipped down our rankings quite a bit. Number 8, Gonzaga. You haven't heard a lot about Gonzaga this season, but let me tell you, Drew Timme is still there, and Drew Timme is still the major cog in that engine. He is what gets them going. I mean, everything about that team is exactly what you expect out of Gonzaga. They are wildly efficient. They're 13th in KenPom, but they have the most efficient offense in the country. They slip a little bit in defense. They're sub 75 in defense. I believe they're 87th in defensive efficiency. But Drew Timme, I mean, he has been balling out, has been practically a consistent layup down there for them. They're 23-5 with a plus 13.3 point differential, 10-17 against the spread. So that leaves a lot to be desired. And you know what that tells you? They're not beating up on the teams you expect them to. Gonzaga's sticking around. Gonzaga's still one of the top teams in the country. They're going to be a top seed in March Madness. You just haven't heard much about them this year. But the WCC is pretty strong. St. Mary's has been electric. But Gonzaga hasn't been doing what they need to be doing against some of the bad teams in WCC, which is why they're 10-17 against the spread. Don't be surprised if Gonzaga is an early exit from the tournament yet again. Number 7, we got ourselves Arizona. Arizona, number 7 in our power rankings. They're 24-4 with a plus 12.6 point differential, and they're 13-2 against the spread this year. And in February, they have looked good. 5-1 straight up, 4-2 against the spread. Their only loss, though, it was a weird loss. Came in Pac-12 play against Stanford. They lost as 7.5 point favorites. It was a road game. And as we all know, in college basketball, winning road games is tough no matter the opponent. Currently, the Wildcats are 9th in KenPom with a very efficient offense. But much like Gonzaga, defense is kind of their sore spot. They're better on defense than Gonzaga is. They're 41st in defensive efficiency. But come March, that may be their Achilles heel. I'm going to mispronounce his name. Azulius Tubulius is a 6'11 junior, one of the best players in the nation. He has a 118.6 offensive rating, and he's used at one of the highest rates of all players in the nation. Arizona goes as far as he goes, but that defense may prove to be a problem come March. Number 6 is Texas. Texas is 21-6, and they have weathered the storm of controversy extremely well. They've had a 10.8 point differential, but they've gone 11-16 against the spread. They've kept games closer than that Vegas kind of has expected them to. And in February, they're just 3-2 straight up and 2-3 against the spread. Earlier, we talked about Purdue slipping at the wrong time. Seems like Texas might be starting to slip at the wrong time after they weathered the storm of all of that controversy earlier in the year. They are 11th in KenPom, 12th best offense, 32nd best defense. But our numbers think they're the 6th best team in the nation right now. So you might be able to get some value on the Longhorns, maybe to win the Big 12 as of right now at DRF Sportsbook. They're an extremely well-balanced team, and that's why our numbers like them so much. They're led by Marcus Carr, but have 6 significant contributors. Don't know why I said it in a weird way, but they have 6 significant contributors, and 4 of 6 of which are upperclassmen. So a lot of the guys getting a lot of run for Texas are experienced, and that's big come tournament time, folks. Texas is a sneaky Big 12 champion favorite. I'd throw that future down now while they're sliding just a little bit. Number 5, UCLA. The Bruins are 23-4 this season with a 14.7 point differential, and they're a really solid 16-11 against the spread. If you've been betting them consistently on the spread, you've made money. If you've been doubling that down with some money line bets, you're a sicko for betting some of those. But I mean, hey, you've made some money regardless. And in February, they're red hot. 6-0 against the spread. 6-0 straight up. 4-2 against the spread. UCLA is firing on all cylinders. They're 3rd in KenPom, 23rd offensively. But their key is they're the 2nd best defensive team in the nation. UCLA is the truth. You may not stay up to watch Pac-12 after midnight, but the Bruins and Mick Cronin, they're doing something special. Jaime Jaquez has been balling out, biggest player for the Bruins. Number 4, Tennessee. What happened, Tennessee? I mean, they've kind of slipped here as of late. I thought they were the best team in the country, and then February came. They've gone 2-4 straight up. They've gone 1-5 against the spread. 2 buzzer beater losses that impact that straight up number, but regardless, they weren't covering either of those games, and they've struggled against teams that they need to beat up on. They're still the best offense in the country. They're still the best defense in the country. Offensively, they're 68th in efficiency, and that's how they end up losing. Are they this year's UVA? Remember when UVA lost to that 16 seed UMBC? Things are shaping up that Tennessee's defense is elite, but how far can that offense take them? I think we're seeing some issues with the team now. They're still amazing. The guy Ziegler is still great. I'm just saying, if I'm taking a future out right now, I'm not putting it on Tennessee. They are 4th in our power rankings, but if they have a couple more bad losses, they may be slipping down this rating system a little quicker than we expect. Number 3, Kansas. They're 23-5 with a plus 8.5 point differential. Don't let that point differential fool you. This is a Jayhawks team that has had a fantastic strength of schedule. The Jayhawks are legit. They're 14-14 against the spread, and in the month of February, they're 5-1 straight up, 5-1 against the spread, 7th overall in KenPom with a top 20 offense and a top 10 defense, led by Jalen Wilson. He's a 6'8 junior who plays 86% of all Jayhawks minutes. He's one of the most used players in the nation, and the Jayhawks are legit. They're coached by one of the best coaches in the league. They're going to finish out the year with one of the best home court advantages in Allen Fieldhouse, and they're going to take an experienced team into the Big 12 tournament, into March Madness, and this team is going to be legit. Historically, you need a top 20 team in offense and defense, according to KenPom, to have a shot at winning the championship. This team does. This team's been kind of in my opinion, under-respected all year, and I think the Jayhawks are starting to really figure it out now, and they're hot, folks. They're going to be heading into March on fire. I love them at number 3. Number 2, Houston. We have a problem. I don't know why. The computers love Houston. The AAC favorites, it seems like for the past 15 years, ever since Kelvin Sampson's been there, ever since Marcus Sasser got there in 1992, I swear the Houston Cougars have been amazing, and this year is no different. The only difference is this year, they have one of the best offenses in the nation. They're 4th in offensive efficiency. They're 8th in defensive efficiency. And they're one of the few elite teams with a great record against the spread. They're 25-2 with nearly a plus 20 point differential. It's 19.9. And they're 16-11 against the spread. 5-0 straight up in February, 2-3 against the spread in February, and that's kind of why their record there at 16-11. It was a little bit better, but overall, this is a Houston team that is fantastic. They're poised to make another deep run in March, and Marcus Sasser, like I said, he's still there, and he's still firing on all cylinders. Huge contributor to the Houston Cougars' success. And number 1, it's the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Folks, it may be a down year for football, but this ain't no down year for Nate Oates and his team. Alabama, the darling of the analytics community. They take threes and they take layups. That's all they take. But what's been key for this team this year is that they're the 3rd best defense in the nation, and Alabama checks in at number 1 in our power rankings. They're 23-4 this season with a 15.1 point differential, 17-10 against the spread, a better mark than Houston. So not only are they winning, they're dominating teams they need to dominate. And they lean into analytics. They play at an extremely high tempo. They have a fantastic defense. They have the 13th best offense in the nation. And they're dominant. They cover at a 63% rate, folks. I don't know what more you want out of Alabama. This is a team that is led by Brandon Miller, Mark Sears, Jaden Bradley. They get a lot of minutes out of them. And then Javon Quinterly, another huge contributor for them. All of them have experience. Few of them freshmen. But for the most part, they've played in big moments. They've played in big games. I expect big things out of Alabama come March. And that's why they're sitting at number 1. Our computers agree with me. Alabama, the analytics love them. They're a fun team. So thank you so much for tuning in to the DRF Sportsbook College Basketball Power Rankings. We'll be breaking it down every single week leading into March Madness, trying to figure out who the next NCAA tournament winner will be. As of right now, I have no idea. Next week, I'll have my future bet for you guys, so tune in next week. And before you do that, remember to like and subscribe so you never miss a single video from DRF Sportsbook. Have a profitable week. See ya.